What up, everybody? Welcome back to KnobHead Football. Today we got a scouting report on Matt Corral, quarterback out of Ole Miss, third-round pick to the Carolina Panthers. So here are his stats from last season. Among the top quarterbacks, had the highest completion percentage and the fewest amount of interceptions. Some of that based on the system that they ran at Ole Miss. Just a lot of RPOs, but pretty good stats. 20 TDs, 5 picks, pretty good rushing stats as well. So his strengths, so start off with his toughness. Here's a couple examples of that here. This first one against Louisville. QB draw out to the left. You'll often see him end his runs like this, just making DBs pay for trying to tackle him, often inflicting punishment. So here's a 4th and 5 against Baylor. Gonna drop back, he's gonna scramble, use his eyes to juke that defender, and then truck that linebacker there, put him on his ass. Another strength, very confident. First example of that here against Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. This is the first play of the game. He's going to have his check down to the right, wide open for at least a few yards, but he's going to take the more difficult throw. But yeah, that defender, that safety there is sinking. He has this check down here really wide open. He's going to get at least a few yards on this. Takes a more difficult throw. This one's going to be incomplete. Great play by the DB here. It's actually this Martin Emerson, 3rd round pick to the Browns, I believe. But yeah, just passing up that check down to take the more difficult throw. The confidence, he knows he can put that where he wants it. Really nice throw, incomplete on that one. His next strength is leadership. You see this on display really every game. He's clearly the vocal leader of the team, and you can just tell by the way his team rallies around him. But my first example, this is going to be false start on the center. This is his 3rd of the game. He might have had like 4 or 5 false starts. It's a pretty bad game for the center. You see it pretty much on every one. Matt Corral is really the first one to go over and kind of give him some encouragement. Another example of that, same game against Tulane too. Just threw a touchdown pass. And you just see the way the O-line is celebrating with him. Obviously, on most teams, you're going to see the team celebrate when they score. But I don't know, it's pretty hard to fake this like enthusiasm for your guy, especially coming from the O-line too. So you like to see his team rally around him like that. Next strength is his accuracy, specifically in the short and intermediate ranges. Ole Miss runs a ton of RPOs, which kind of gives him some easy completions, but he's so good at throwing slants and these short throws because he puts so much velocity on the ball, and he's just super accurate in those areas of the field. So the first example of it, this is against Louisville again. You're going to run a cover 2 here, and he's just going to put this in a tight cover 2 hole here. But man, look at the placement on this ball. You can't put that any better. Just barely over the corner to beat the safety. Really perfect throw on the sideline there. Another one here against Tennessee is going to be a deep ball. He's going to look right, then come back left and hit that post. Should be a wide open touchdown. Receiver drops this ball, but really great placement on that ball. Look right, come back left. Clean pocket, but great throw there. Next, we got arm strength, the distance that he can throw, but also, like I mentioned, the velocity on the short throws as well. So here's the first example of just showing his pure arm strength. Super clean pocket, he's got all day to throw. But this bomb here down to the 1 yard line, a 65-yard throw. Man, his arm talent is really undeniable there. Here's another example of his arm strength. This is going to be a little different, not a super long throw, but he's going to pump fake here and then have to quickly reset his arm, but he's still going to put a lot of velocity. Not many quarterbacks can do this. He's got a quick release, which helps too, but the amount of velocity on this ball, this is 3rd and 11 too, the amount of velocity on this ball to pump fake, quickly reset with pressure coming, that's a really impressive throw in my opinion. Alright, next strength on the list, spatial awareness. I love to see this out of guys, basically just feel of what's around him. This is really something you see a lot of the top level guys have, the Aaron Rodgers and the Patrick Mahomes of the world. So here's the first example against LSU. This is going to be a 4th and 3. It's going to be QB draw out to the left, and that footwork to really fake the throw on this. Obviously, this is a QB draw all the way. There's no routes on the field. But just having the feel to know that I need a little bit more space to get through, that little shift in his feet to fake the throw is going to buy him just a split second really of space to get to the first down on 4th and 3. Really great feel of what's around him. This is something you can't teach. Another aspect of that spatial awareness and that feel is just the ability to throw with different arm angles. So this one's just going to be a little flick, but defender's in the way, and it's just going to shovel pass. Only a short gain here, but just showing that he can make different kinds of throws, and just, again, that feel of what's around him, just knowing that that initial throw isn't there, the ability to pump fake and adjust his arm angle to get that throw off. All right, next strength, the footwork. Obviously, this comes in handy with an RPO-heavy offense, which is another reason why he was so successful at it. But this one against Liberty, there's going to be a blitz off the edge here. He's going to spin out, quickly reset, and again, nice sidearm throw here. But just that footwork, man, to spin out and reset really quickly, get back to your normal base, and a nice sidearm throw for the first down there. Another example of the footwork is going to be an RPO to the right, but watch the footwork on this. He's going to quickly come back to the right and reset. He's going to play action, his feet are pointed to the left, and then that quick flip, really no hitch in his footwork there. Just a really nice flip there on 2nd and 2 for the easy first down. Last strength on the list, rusher vision. Pretty good as a runner all around. Obviously, I showed the toughness earlier. He's not a super fast guy, but he's got good speed, kind of going along with the spatial awareness and just that feel. He's got pretty good vision following his blocks. Here's an example of that here against Arkansas. He's going to point to kind of fake set up the block here and then juke that linebacker and make it to the marker for the first down. Here's one against Tulane. This is going to be a QB draw. And again, just following his blockers. Nice vision to weave in and out. Enjoy that slide while you can get it, because a lot of the times he just loves running over defenders, sometimes to a fault. This is a good example of his sliding ability. He doesn't do it super often, but he can get down when he needs to. Alright, now going to his weaknesses. Again, along with the toughness, he just takes too many hits. Small frame for his reckless play style. I see a lot of people talking about how he's really small and all this stuff. I don't think he's that small. He's like 6'2", 215, but for his play style, he does have kind of a small frame and does take too many hits. And like I said, he can slide. We saw that in the last play, but should do it more than he does. But sometimes the competitiveness takes over for him. This one's going to be a QB draw against A&M. He's going to come out to the right. Just a late dive instead of a slide here. And yeah, it takes a pretty big hit. These are the things you'd like to see him take out of his game. Just get down early, know when the play's over. But yeah, instead taking a big hit on the ground there on that dive. Another one against Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. He's going to fake that check down. This is a pretty dangerous one. Just lowering his head. This could have been really bad. Luckily, he was fine on this play. But just taking a big hit on that, kind of unnecessary. There's another one here against Auburn. Probably should have taken this check down here. But yeah, fakes the check down. Kind of gets sandwiched between two defenders there. Something you'd like to see him clean up a little bit. So another weakness. Well, I guess not really a weakness, but they ran an RPO heavy scheme at Ole Miss. And he was rarely asked to read the full field. So not necessarily his fault, but he just doesn't have the same experience as some other guys reading the full field in a more pro-style system. So he's probably going to have more of a learning curve to some of the other guys in the class. Another weakness, he can hold the ball a little too long sometimes. Goes along with the RPO scheme where a lot of his reads are very quick, and if that initial read isn't there, then he's kind of got to make something happen on his own, and that can lead him to holding the ball too long. So not all the examples of that are all his fault. Sometimes it's just the way the offense is designed. But here's an example against LSU where he could get the ball out quicker and he doesn't. But yeah, rolling out right, just holding the ball too long, kind of goes along with the confidence too, where he thinks he can break all these tackles because he does it so often. But yeah, Damone Clark is just going to shoot in here and sack the quarterback for a huge loss. This is also 2nd and 18. In the red zone, you're like on their 20-yard line. So just kind of throw this ball away, live to see another down. Make it a 3rd and 18, which sucks, but it's better than a 3rd and 27, which he's going to end up with right here. All right, another weakness, he can occasionally overthrow the deep ball. I mentioned the accuracy in the short and intermediate ranges, but sometimes when it's a deep ball, it can just kind of get away from him. This one against Austin Peay here, he's going to have an open guy. There's a cover one, it looks like, to beat the safety. Receiver beats the corner there. 3rd and 12, you'd like to see him complete that, but yeah, just a little bit overthrown on that one. Here's one against Texas A&M. It's going to be a double move on the right side here. Receiver's going to end up being pretty much wide open here. Should be a touchdown, but yeah, just puts too much on this ball. Again, the arm strength isn't the question. That's a super long throw, but yeah, it's just kind of reining in those deep balls is something he can improve on. All right, so my player comparisons for him are Baker Mayfield, kind of in the confidence and a little bit of the physicality. I think he's more physical than Baker Mayfield and a better runner than Baker, but a little bit of the same like personality on the field, if that makes sense. And then kind of as a thrower, I think Zach Wilson is a good comparison for him. Both of them have similar arm talent, in my opinion. Both have a lot of arm strength and have a little bit of that spatial awareness, can throw from different angles and different platforms. Career projection, I see him as an average, like a mid-level starter in the league. I have questions about his just top level, like his ceiling. I don't necessarily see him as one of the top guys in the league, but I also think his floor is pretty high. I'd be surprised if he wasn't a starter in the league for a good amount of time. He might be a lower level starter, but I'd be surprised if he was just like a career backup just based on the talent that he has and the leadership ability that he has. I think he's gonna pretty easily win over whatever team he's on, in this case the Carolina Panthers. And I think that's a big part of just starting in the league, is the ability to win over your team. Alright, now we're going to get into my favorite and my least favorite play from Matt Corral. This first one here against Alabama is my favorite play. Ignore the score here. But Will Anderson's going to shoot in, get really a free rush, really a surefire top 5 pick next year. One of the best pass rushers in the country, getting a free rush. Corral's going to spin away from him, quickly reset, and hit a great deep ball. Again, another deep ball drop that should have been a touchdown here. This kind of encompasses everything you would like to see out of Matt Corral. The spin, the footwork, the arm strength, the accuracy, everything on display for Matt Corral here on this play. Not only a great play in general, but to spin away from probably the best pass rusher in the country and then deliver a 55-yard bomb for the should-be touchdown. All right, my least favorite play. Don't see too many terrible plays from Matt Corral. Similar to Kenny Pickett in the sense that he's pretty consistently good. Doesn't make too many terrible plays, but this one is just going to be 4th and 1. Really have exactly what they want here. He's just going to sidearm that throw and put that nowhere near his receiver there. But that's going to do it for my scouting report on Matt Corral. I think the Panthers are a pretty good situation for him. They got Ike Ekwonu in the draft, kind of rebuilt that O-line. Obviously, you have McCaffrey there if he's healthy. And I think Sam Darnold's a good guy to sit behind. I do expect Corral to play this season. Like I mentioned, the leadership, I do think he can win over the locker room pretty quickly. Like and subscribe if you enjoy. Keep an eye out for more scouting reports in the future. And I'm going to close this out with something I came across watching these Ole Miss games. This guy right here in the red hat is the Ole Miss analytics expert. He's got his binder with all of his analytics shit in there. This is Lane Kiffin's decision to go for it on 4th and 3 instead of kick a field goal to cut the lead to 8 in the 4th quarter. I just love this dude's face. I just had to put this in here somewhere. Couldn't let this go unnoticed. Hey Lane, we should really kick the field goal right here. The binder says kick the field goal. Lane, what the fuck are we doing, man?